Hi, I'm Kisa.
And I'm Theo.
Welcome to Finding Your Voice,
a show about speaking your truth and stepping into your power.
Let's get it.
Okay, we are back. Round twosies. Let's see if this audio works. And we'll wait.
Oh,
I know. I don't know. It's like they're just like, no, don't.
it's always something, you guys.
So,
but happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Okay. What up, Doll Nation? Oh, Cheney, what's up?
Well,
There you are.
Cheney.
What are you guys doing?
We got it right this time, you guys. So
Halloween?
come on and join in because we promised you guys a dinner for two today if you told a spooky story. So write in and let us know.
Yes.
And hopefully you can enjoy your dinner for two with someone you love.
Someone you love. Yes.
So thank you for joining us again, round two, guys.
Yes. Okay, so for those of you who have just joined, we had some issues with audio, so we're doing this now on my Instagram. We're going to wait for a few people to come in, maybe a second or so. And she's making love to this dried rose.
It smells so terrible.
Yes. What are you guys doing for Halloween today, you guys? Are you guys dressing up?
Yeah, tell us something. What are you doing? Are you going out? We don't know if there's any places for you to go dancing at. And okay, I know I'm going to get teased for saying the word dancing.
What? What's wrong with dancing?
I don't know.
Like,
People laugh at that for saying, I don't know.
I miss dancing. I'm just going out to dance.
We hope you guys are having a great time. We hope that you guys are going to be taking your kids out, if you have any, to go trick-or-treating tonight. And you deserve it. You deserve some fun. You really do. So, boo.
Okay, well,
let's get into it.
Yeah, well, let's just get started. Since this is round two. But as we were talking, though, if you guys want to share your stories, please do, because the best story, our favorite story, is going to win a meal for two on us. Yes. So make sure you dig into your treasure of ghosty stories and let us know. Yes. Hello, welcome.
We know that you guys got so many. I've been hearing so many stories, which we were kind of discussing earlier on, from people that have told me the craziest experiences that they've had with ghosts. So we want to know about it, you guys, and we are going to get into it and share some of our scary stories.
Yes.
With you.
Yes. I love it, King Greg. You're just going to be relaxing and you're not candy. Honestly, that sounds
relaxing?
Amazing.
Okay.
Watching movies, scary movies at home.
Yeah.
All right, well, before we get in, if you guys could just do us a favor and let us know if audio isn't working.
Please.
Because that happened last time and we went for like almost an hour with no audio, so just holler at us. So, okay. Our show is called Finding Your Voice. So if you haven't followed us on Instagram yet, make sure you follow us there, Finding Your Voice, or on YouTube, Finding Your Voice as well. And one of the reasons why we wanted to do this show specifically for Halloween is because I feel like us coming out and finding our voice and stepping onto our power is deeply connected to our connection to the spirit world.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that so many of us are connected to the spiritual world, and the cool thing about our show is that you don't have to feel embarrassed about talking about it. Right. That's what this whole thing is about. It's about being able to express yourself, share your stories, let it out and not feel judgment or anything. So many of us out there are, we've got these gifts, to see in the spiritual world. So, we want to hear about that.
Yes. So Kisa, not very many people know this about Kisa, because you haven't really talked about it until just recently, or opened up about it, right?
Yes.
But she was born with very special gifts that I'm glad I don't have.
Well, like I said before, I realized it's not so special because I think that, I first discovered that I could see spirits at a very young age. And what I've learned now is that so many children and, they have this same ability. And we were discussing it earlier. We don't know if it's just because they, are still new here on Earth. Right. And so they have nothing blocking them from it, but nevertheless, you're hearing more and more, where children especially talk about it. And that's when I first discovered that I, was seeing spirits. We call them ghosts. I call it spirits. And so, I'm going to share just one of my stories first that really impacted me. And I guess now it's not so scary because I'm grown, but, I'll tell it, share it really quickly with you guys. But it was when I was 4 years old, and I hate to repeat it again because I was telling you guys this.
But no one heard it earlier.
No one heard it. But when I was 4 years old, long story short, family would come and visit from out of town, and we would all, just have a great time with the family, just sitting and, my mom cooking, laughing and joking. And I recall, seeing my mom's grandfather, my great-grandfather, sitting on the couch with all of us and, kind of just, chilling out a little bit. And I thought we were all having conversation, or I was having conversation with him. And, even remember like walking with him and, him talking, and, he had certain mannerisms that I recalled. He had a cane, and he also would suck his teeth like this. And then, I brought up to my mom, as I got older about, when did he die? I was like, I don't remember, seeing anyone mourn, or when was there a funeral, for your grandfather. I don't remember. So when did he die? What year did he die? I'm asking her all these questions, and she looks at me and she's like, Kisa, he died before I was born. And honestly, I thought she was lying. I'm like, no.
That's crazy. Because she hasn't even met him either.
No.
Wow.
I'm thinking she's mistaken. I'm like, no, Mom. I'm like, because he used to come over and he used to sit on the couch and, the whole thing. And he looked like Snoop Doggy Dogg to me, only with straight hair, But then, when she said, I'm starting to think about the clothes he had on, I'm like, wait a minute, those clothes did look like they were from the 1800s or something, and so I'm like, are you kidding me, Mom? And she's like, Kisa, I've never met him. He died before I was born. And but there were a couple of photos that they had of him, and when I described them, it was exactly what I described with his clothes and everything. And then I realized, all this time, I had been talking to a ghost and didn't even realize it. So that's my story.
Wait, but you didn't realize till 3 years ago.
3 years ago was when it occurred to me, for some reason, I wanted to know, when did he pass, and, when was the funeral, and that's when I found out that there was never a funeral in my lifetime. And that's what happened. So that's my story. That's one of my stories. Yeah. So what about you?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, first of all, that's like just scratching the surface with her story.
Completely scratching the surface.
Because Kisa has a gift of actually seeing spirits, entities, energies. Even your family have seen orbs around me before. Like when my grandpa died, I saw an orb around me for a while.
Yeah.
So it was really fascinating. Your family's definitely tapped in, but Kisa on a whole another level. Now, there's different forms of clairs, right? Clair, like you heard of clairvoyance, but there's other things like a knowing or a feeling or a hearing. So that's like clairsentient, claircognizant, that kind of stuff. So you can see, I don't see that stuff in this physical world, thank goodness, but they do mess with me a little. I can feel them. Like I feel them there. And one of the instances the first instance I had with the other world was when I started reading tarot cards, and I didn't really know, I was just kind of free-flowing tarot cards off of my intuition, and I was in my bedroom one day, and I was walking in there, and I lived alone, and I had this gust of wind on like the left side of my neck, and I mean, there's no wind inside my room, okay, and it was obvious. Yeah, so I freaked out. I was like, ugh, and I was scared. Oh, see, I'm gonna knock this.
I almost sucked this rose. I'm sorry, guys. I literally almost sucked the rose. I'm gonna put this
it's
down.
also the same color as your lollipop.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, No need to be sorry. I was just, whipping this flower crown off my head. The first time we recorded this actually fell off my head. Actually on the same story, I think. That's funny. Okay. Anyway. So I feel this gust of wind and I also like, oh, and that kept happening to me. So I was like, Kisa, will you come over here to see if something is over here? And I'm telling you, before I embraced my spiritual practice, I used to be so scared of everything and anything. I was scared of my shadow. I didn't watch Harry Potter. Like, I was like,
Harry Potter is scary.
It can be scary. It's dark.
It's dark.
So I was like, no. So I was like, Kisa, come over here. And she goes into the room and she comes out and she has like this like serious face. And I was like, oh no, I know it.
I was like, what did you do?
Yes. So then she's like, okay, yes. She didn't want to scare me, so she was calm. She's like, yes, there's a male energy in your room. It's not supposed to be there, but because of your ancestry and your, how you guys tap into spirituality, because we Hmong people are originally like shamanistic. She's like, you need to start practicing protection.
And what I mean by protection, because I've had this question all the time. I believe in God, so I believe that everything needs to come through God, and then you have to ask permission from God, before you talk to anything. Even I know for me, even if I'm talking to my angels, I chat with God first. Yeah. So, but so many people, they go into these things with tarot cards or Ouija boards and things like that, and I do believe that if you can open up doors that you may not want to open up. So you better be careful because it's all about your intent. So if you have an intention to, communicate with a ghost, if you really want to bad enough, eventually I think you're gonna get what you ask for, and you may not know how that comes to you,
Yes. So that was the very first lesson for me. I was like, oh, I can't be out here like willy-nilly, like, I was like, oh, and I also, I grew up Catholic because we were converted when the French missionaries came to Laos. So I grew up Catholic, but seeing shaman things when I was growing up, like I would go over and it's part of the culture and whatnot. So I was curious about it.
I think like most people, whether they want to admit it or not, they are curious about the spiritual realm and ghost and what it means. And most times they're scared. And I think underneath it all, a lot of people actually want to be scared. They want...
Well, not me, girl.
Not you.
Do you want to be scared?
No. I actually don't want to be scared.
But she gets scared. They just flock to her. They're just like, well, we don't care, girl. We're going to come to you anyways.
I'm highly, sensitive, and we were talking about it before that, I think most of us are just intuitive. And I think that some of us are just more in touch with what that is, People ask all the time, well, what is it that you see? If you see a spirit, what do you see?
That's a great question. What do you see?
It varies. It's whatever they want me to see. I think that sometimes I've been in places where I've actually seen, a light, form around somebody.
Oh, yeah.
That'll kind of, where I'll just look and I'll go, and then other times, it's more pronounced. I've heard story.
Oh, okay.
Are we still with you guys? Can you still hear us?
Yes.
I hope so.
The Wi-Fi was like, poor connection. So anyways, let us know if you can't hear anything.
Now, I've heard stories from people that have said that they've seen like a true like black figure. They can make out what they have on and different things like that. And so it's really interesting, to me, I see things, as they come, they're different, but...
You've seen things on me before.
Yes, absolutely. And family members, friends, my sister had a ghost in her place, and she swears up and down this ghost has been following her from place to place. And so I have seen, I've seen it in her house before. I don't want to scare her, but yeah.
So one time I was, you were over at my place, and my grandpa had passed recently, and you said that there was an older figure and a younger figure in like late teens, early 20s. And for a while I was like, who is she talking about? And then I made me realize it was definitely my grandpa, And then it was my best friend and roommate from college, Kyle, who had committed suicide actually, and passed away when he was 19. Yeah, and that was a really, really hard time for me.
Yeah.
But I do feel him around sometimes. So when you said that, that actually made me feel good to know that he's like still around watching.
Yeah, usually it's for me, I've experienced most of my life, it would be things like that. Family members that, you know, want to come around and tell their loved ones something. And so I would share it with them because I had to. It's kind of like Whoopi Goldberg.
Yes, ghost.
Where, you know, you'll go, They'll be like, no, I'm going to keep on bugging you until you tell them.
So I'm glad I don't.
Yeah, but this is not what I want to do, you know. And so if it's something like that, then yes. And the great news about that is it brings a lot of comfort to people. What I don't like is if it's something that's not so good. And I grew up not believing in devils
or demons, dark energy.
Demons. I didn't believe in that. I only believed in angels and God and all that stuff. So when I realized that there were actually dark entities out there, it blew my mind, and I don't like that, and that is scary. Or it used to be, not so scary anymore. But that blew my mind because I did not think that that existed. I thought that that was just like, you know, a fluke or something, but it's not. So,
well, I think that Kisa is a spiritual warrior, you know, and even though she may not love the gifts sometimes, you know, but yeah, because you do deal with the darker energies a little bit more, you know.
I have if it presented itself to me, but as I mentioned before, whenever I look at something dark, I try to think about the good that it's supposed to bring. So if there's something that's presenting itself as something dark, then to me, now I look at that and say, well, that's my indication that I just need to grow spiritually, get more grounded in my spirituality. And sometimes, you know, God just presents things to you that look dark to elevate your soul and your consciousness. So that's how I look at things that we call spooky or scary, you know.
But it doesn't have to be. I mean, even though there are some scary things out there for sure.
Yes.
Like
I don't like things touching me. So do not touch me.
Okay, well let's talk about that actually.
You go first.
Oh, okay. Well, before we get into that really quick, so Kisa deals with more darker energies, and for me, my experiences so far have been more angelic and people's past like ancestors. So I see people's ancestors, or when I'm doing Reiki sessions, like angels will show up sometimes. And the very first time it happened, that was like mind-blowing and amazing, and I didn't know what was happening. But long story short, I experienced something, and we basically put a baby in somebody and I was like, what? And then within a year later, that person ended up being pregnant, and that just, I don't know, it blew my mind. And I love seeing more angels come through, you know, and that's what I'm telling them right now, like, come through more, because I haven't seen you guys in a while. But that's me. Moving on, though, we had an experience that was really, I don't know, life-changing for the both of us, I feel like, in a way. Activating, I guess, was during my music video.
Yes.
In Hawaii, for So Good. And if you haven't seen it yet, check it out on YouTube.
Check it out. And so it was funny because, like I mentioned before, and it's so funny repeating this again, but do your research, you guys, when you travel. Make sure you know where you're going. Make sure. We rented out an Airbnb, so make sure, like, you do whatever you got to do to just do your history, where you know, make sure nothing crazy has happened in your room, or
yes. Okay, let's
do your research.
Yeah. Okay, so when Keys and I both met each other, we just knew that we were connected on a soul level, and we didn't really know what or why yet, and we've known each other for almost 10 years. This Hawaii trip, I don't know, we just felt intuitively that something was going to happen with each other in terms of activating, I don't know what. So we ended up staying there on Oahu, staying in Waikiki in one of those Airbnbs. And if you've ever been in Hawaii, these Airbnbs are like older buildings, kind of vintagey, run down. Not run down, but, you know, older.
They're definitely older.
Yeah, you can, when you walk into it, you're like, oh, okay.
But beautiful.
Yes. So we stay there, we do the music video, and we feeling good after the music video. Then that night we're exhausted, so we end up watching the movie Practical Magic.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys haven't seen Practical Magic before, it's with Nicole Kidman and
Sandra Bullock
and their sisters.
I love them.
I know. And they're sisters and help each other get out of these situations and whatnot, right? And one of the situations was Nicole Kidman was dating this guy who wasn't good for her, so they accidentally kill him. So they try to bring him back to life, and that didn't go so well.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, so then they had to do this ritual and send his energy back into the earth. So we're watching this movie, and I'm just kind of like, it's interesting we're watching this movie because this reminds me of me and Kisa for some reason, you know? I'm like,
Let's clarify. We don't want to send anybody back into the earth or kill anybody or anything like
that.
Yeah.
That's it. We're just giving you background first of the movie. Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. Just focus more about the going back to earth part of it. So the next day we end up going to this beach in North Shore, right? And we're like, well, let's go have a good time. Mm-hmm. And on the way home, we stop at this gas station. And it's like clear as day is the theme song from the movie.
Yes.
And it's This Kiss from Faith Hill. And yeah. I don't want to run home. What is it? Wait, how's that? I don't want another one.
Oh, so you remember. Okay, I just remember this kiss, this.
Yes. Anyways, you guys know what's on.
Anyway,
so it comes on, and we're in like separate sides of the Quickie Mart basically, and we're all like, what the hell? I'm like,
why is it so
yeah, I was like, is she hearing this? Am I hearing this? Like, this is clear. I was like, is this a message? I was like, but we're like, whatever. Go home that night. Oh, sorry. Skirt. Rewind. Just so you know, at the beach, I did an offering and I offered one of my favorite crystals at the time. It was a Selenite Crystal, and I offered it to the ocean because I heard that Earth likes that. The ocean likes that. So I was like, okay. So, and before I had given it as an offering, it was sitting at a bedside table between us because we had 2 beds in the same room and the bedside table between us. And so I had all these crystals here for like protection and whatnot. But I gave it to the ocean. So then
Why did she do that, you guys? And okay, just so you know, I don't know much about, what the crystals mean. I just like crystals. They're very pretty, and the whole thing I've always been fascinated by. I mean, I believe, that they work. They give you good energy and
yes.
All that stuff. If that's what you want to get from the crystals, but. Yeah, so this crystal was beautiful.
It was.
And she was going back and forth about should she throw this in the ocean.
Something made me not want to do it, but I committed it in because I thought I'm here, I'm in Oahu, this would be the place to do it. I don't know if it's true.
And we had it the whole time. Nothing went wrong. Everything was going great. We were all peaceful until she
well, so then we go home that night, right? And Kisa's like, I'm tired. So she went to bed early. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went to bed too. And the next thing I know, it's like I'm awake, but I'm asleep, but I'm awake. And I know something is wrong. And I just wake up, my eyes just shoot open. And I was just like, poof. And I see Kisa standing right over me. And this is like 3 a.m. or something like that. And standing right over me. And immediately I was like, okay, what happened? What do we need to do? Let's go. Like I knew something was wrong,
You guys, I was attacked. So, I mean, it was crazy because like she had mentioned, I was super, super tired. And which is rare for me to just kind of pass out like that.
Well, did you also say before that attacks come when you're really tired?
Yes,
too?
I believe so. I believe that, for me at least, I get visions and stuff when I'm really tired, and it's a different kind of sleepy, and I guess this just happened that day, and I just got a quick vision of an incident that took place at the hotel that we were staying at, the Airbnb. Then the next thing I know, I see this black figure running towards me and grabs a hold of my arm and shakes me, and it's one side of my body that's just being
like flailing.
It's yeah, exactly. On the bed, my eyes are open at this moment, and I will tell you, I've never had anything like that happen to me ever in my
which is crazy because you've had a lot of
and I've had a lot of experiences, but I've never had anything like that happen to me before in my life until I was in Hawaii. And I was just really honestly just frightened. And I'm screaming for Theo to wake up. Theo! She's knocked out. She's dead to the world. She's literally next to me. They're like what she had mentioned, and she's just laying there.
Crazy.
I'm like, Theo.
I didn't hear a thing.
So finally, I'm like, you gotta stop touching. You're not allowed to touch me. And I jump up, and it let's go or stop shaking me, and I jump up, and I'm like, Theo, and that's when she finally opens her eyes. I'm like, you didn't hear me? I'm yelling
That's crazy.
and screaming this whole time.
But you have mentioned before though that when these things happen, the person that's near you can go into a trance, right?
Yes, but the crazy thing is our other friend that was staying in the room next to us, he too had heard some stuff in the room before this had even happened.
Well, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, and he doesn't believe in any of that stuff. He did. And he's like, I heard something, and I kept thinking it was you. He thought it was me getting up.
I'm getting chilled. Look at it. My hair. You can't see, but my hairs are literally. Oh, you see goosebumps. Oh my god.
Goosebumps, you guys. And it was so scary. And then come to find out, that Hawaii is like a sacred, it's the sacred grounds, and it's
portal.
It's a portal. You're not supposed to take anything and who knows? I think I did take some sand or something from that beach.
It's fine. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert, so
But she threw that crystal, and that crystal, I think, she said as a protection.
Well, first of all, okay. So the vision that she had was that there was an accident at the swimming pool.
Yes.
And we were right next to the swimming pool, so we could see everything. So she was getting visions from the past of an incident, and a kid had died from it, unfortunately. And the next morning we were supposed to go snorkeling with the turtles, and she's very scared of the ocean.
Yeah, I am.
And so after this happened and the message that had come through, we were like, no, we're canceling.
We're canceling. So maybe, and so again, it goes back to maybe it was just a wake-up call for me not to go, because...
A sign.
Yeah, it was a sign,
Right.
and, that maybe it wasn't a good idea for me, because I can't swim really good at all, so I have no business diving into the ocean.
And Bart and I were like,
with turtles. And then the peer pressure, I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yes.
All right. And then I was like, no, maybe not.
Yes. And after that happened, we're like, cancel. We're not even gonna.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, we're not gonna risk it.
What about you guys? I know we see you guys coming in. I want to hear.
Yes. Do you guys have any scary stories? If you share with us and we like it, you might want a meal
dinner for two.
From McDonald's. No, I'm just kidding. We'll give you a nicer meal than that.
Okay, so what about? I see lots of shows now about ghosts and haunted places, and me personally, I'm not interested in going to any of those places, but some of them are really kind of crazy. I've seen footage where they capture ghosts on camera doing stuff all the time, And my thing is, how do you do that? How do you catch these ghosts in the action like that? I would love to.
Oh, you want to be a ghost chaser? What do you call those?
No.
Ghost hunter. Ghost chaser? Ghost hunter.
But so many people, again, are just really fascinated with the spirits and the ghosts, and I would just wonder why. Even if they don't believe in it, or they say they don't believe in it, they're scared of, the thought of seeing it. So somewhere deep inside, they think there's a chance that it exists.
I think, this world is so big, and it's so much more expanse than we realize on this tiny little earth. How could there not be other things out there? And also just from our own personal experiences as proof.
Yes.
And miracles, and things are just not explainable, and it's hard sometimes, because when I talk to even family members who are more fact-based and more medical, they're like, okay, Theo. And I was like, I know it's crazy, but maybe one day you might understand. I don't know,
Yes, yeah.
Watch Ghostbusters. I watched that last night, actually.
Well, we were just talking about, okay, so we've got some of our favorite movies that we watch. She mentioned one of them, which I love. I love the 90s movies, by the way. They're really fun.
Oh, I love 90s movies.
But my favorite of all time would be Casper. I love it because it's a ghost story, but it's sweet.
And Casper's
it's a love
cute.
story, and he's cute, and she was cute, and then she wanted her mom, and the mom came back, and she was the angel.
And I was like, oh, why you look so sad?
Yeah,
Tears are in your eyes.
I love that movie. And
You
honestly, I still, get a little teary-eyed when I watch
for sure.
Casper. So my whole family knows this because I was just telling my sister the other day, I'm like, it's so great when Halloween comes around because I get to watch Casper over and over and over again. What's your
Casper? Casper was actually...
Is that one of your all-time?
Yes, it is one of my all-time favorites. And that was my first, crush was on Devon Sawa. Devon Sawa? Devon Sawa, and I was just like, oh my god, you were so... I was like, Casper, you fine.
You fine.
I like 12-year-old.
Like, who knew Casper was that cute?
Well, I love. I'm scared of cats, so I don't watch any scary stuff.
Yeah.
My friend might make me watch a scary one tonight. But I love Casper. I love Hocus Pocus.
Oh yeah, Hocus
Come
Pocus.
on.
I do like Hocus Pocus.
That one's so much fun.
I do. I like Hocus Pocus.
What's your guys' favorite movies? Okanjo. Theo, you and I are the same. I see Protectors and Anne says, okay, that's dope. That's dope.
What do you see, Conjo?
Yeah, what else do you see? And then Kimmy says she's got a few ghost experiences, one good and one bad. Now, Kimmy is from Hawaii. So,
wow.
Kimmy, I don't know if you were here when we were talking about our story from Hawaii, but I don't know if you had any experiences in Hawaii with spirits.
Yes.
Please let us know. But share one or two of the stories with us.
Please do. So recently, my son and a few of his buddies, we went to go see Candyman, which was...
Oh, you did?
We did.
Was it scary?
You know what's so crazy about Candyman? I didn't realize until this go round, because Candyman, the original came out, in 90... Somewhere in the 90s, right? Or was it 2000? Something like that. Yeah. But I never realized that he was from Chicago. I never realized that until this movie. I'm like, oh shoot, Candyman was shot in Chicago, which actually Chicago has some really spooky buildings and homes and sacred land, and there's a lot of hauntings in Chicago. So I didn't realize that until we watched it this go around. So my son was mortified because he loves Chicago. He's like, oh my god. Candyman was in Chicago. But Candyman's pretty spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a little spooky, but it was sad too because he really wasn't a bad guy, and he was just done wrong, and then he killed people because of that.
And hurt people.
He haunted them because...
Ooh.
And then he would give them candy too.
Wait. Okay, sorry, I don't know anything about Candyman.
Oh yeah.
Wait, so he would actually give them candy?
Well, it's a long story, but yes, candy was involved.
Oh, okay. I guess that's why he's called.
It's kind of a twist to it.
Oh. Okay.
But my son and his friends were terrified, and I think it's kind of like Bloody Mary, where you look, you can't say it. I can't even say it now because if he watches this and I say it 3 times,
he'll forget.
He'll be pissed off at me. So, excuse me, but he'll be mad if I say so, because it's the whole thing of you say it 3 times and then you look in the mirror and it pops up. Same thing with Bloody Mary.
Yeah. No thanks. No. Well, okay. So when I was new to this, right? 'Cause I used to be scared. I'm really kind of trying to open myself up
No
to.
thanks.
Yeah, open myself up to this a bit more. Because they know I'm scared too, so they're not gonna do that to me. But when my grandpa passed, that was when things started opening up a lot more. And I'm way closer to my grandpa now than I was when he was in this physical world.
Amazing.
Which is crazy. But around that time I was sensing a lot of stuff. It might have been my grandpa. And my brother said he would hear me in the bathroom going, no thank you, no thank you.
But that's like what I mentioned with my sister. She could see a ghost walk right in front of her and she'd be like, get out of here. And I'm like, did you see that ghost? And she's like, I didn't see nothing. But it's not paying the bills, so it needs to go.
Yeah, yes. You ain't paying rent here.
I love it when I see people like that, where they're like,
I love that.
They're totally in denial. And I'm like,
that's cool.
No,
That's
you just
totally
saw
cool.
that ghost.
That's totally cool.
But and the other thing we mentioned were animals. And animals can really spook you.
Oh, yes.
Because it seems like you're seeing stuff all the time. You know, you're petting your dog, and then all of a sudden you see your dog just stop and you're like, okay.
Or just blankly staring at something for a while. You're like, something is not right over there. You've had.
Yes.
Because you got a dog.
My
recently,
dog, I think,
and she First of all, her dog looks like Kisa. And she has your energy, and she's like you.
She's brown and she's mixed
and beautiful
and she's
sweet,
so cute. But when I saw the photo of her, I was like, oh, she's like me. I don't know what the heck she is, but she's a little chocolate,
little caramel milk chocolate, and can see things because this dog has seen some things.
She does. She's special, man. But I always hear people talk about their dogs seeing stuff. Usually that's an indication that something's in your house because your dog starts, acting funny. So let us know if your dogs can see ghosts.
Oh my goodness. We got some good goodies here.
Some of these.
Okay, first. Let's go to Kanjo first. Kanjo.
I'm gonna read some of you guys' stories.
Kanjo, Kisa and I. Okay, first of all, Kanjo is Kisa's brother.
Yeah.
What a Kanjo.
Yeah.
Not only that, but he was also Mr. Universe. So he's like stacked. Ladies, he's single. Right? Is he single? Or no comments?
He would have to come on the show and share about himself.
All right, we're going to have Kanjo on the show. But so now you know who it is, Kanjo. So Kisa and I share a few ghost stories, including a really interesting one about astral projection.
That's a good one, Kanjo.
Ooh.
Yes, astral projection.
For those who don't know what astral projection is.
Yes, so it's where you are in, a state of just, you're sleeping and you're traveling. Your spirit is traveling and it recalls where it's going and it's having an experience and you're aware of it. That happens all the time. A lot of times people they try to ignore what that is and what it really, really means. But for people that, are in tune to their gifts, they realize that they're in astral projection. You're actually getting a lot of messages in that. You're seeing things and you're experiencing things and you're growing. So that's a good one, Kanjo. Astral projections. So yeah, that's a good one.
Astral projecting is dope. I get so excited when I astral project.
Well, because with meditation.
Yes, meditation, or when I'm sleeping. It's harder for me to remember the sleeping ones, but when they do come through, the latest one was I was getting a warning. I believe that I was getting a warning that some dark energies were attaching themselves to me. And sometimes when you work as a healer too, and you're working with all these portals and whatever, that just can happen. I was like, what was the point of that? I had a brain fart.
It's dope. You said it's dope.
I don't even remember. Oh man,
it's dope when you astral project. Yes.
Oh, yes,
I think that you should embrace it as that. Though.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. I think every experience we have is an opportunity for for us to grow as spiritual people and to learn their lessons learned in the good and the bad and the ugly and all that.
Sometimes it's messages.
Yep.
And sometimes it's just like being still enough to try to process and comprehend what they're trying to tell you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we're all just so like busy in our human life and 3D world.
Yes.
We forget to stay in tune for that.
I agree. We ignore our other gifts that we have, and all of us have it. We were explaining before that, some people, just embrace saying that they're intuitive. Other people, whether they realize it or not, they'll refer to themselves as having great instincts. Well, to me, that's just you being intuitive, and you can, label it whatever you feel comfortable with, but we all have the capacity to see and know.
Yeah, we're born with it.
We're all born with it. So no one's more special than the other.
Right.
Although we all want to say we're angels and and I think we are. We are. It's just a choice. It's just what you decide. You how you want to use your gifts.
We are all so much more powerful than we realize.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Oh wait. Oh my God! You guys, stop it. Kim and Kanjo.
What are they saying?
They're trying to.
Are they arguing?
Trying to set me up on a date. Okay.
What? They're trying to set you on a date
with your brother, Kanjo. That's for another conversation. So we'll. Love you, Kanjo. Kimmy. Okay,
Lord. Oh my gosh.
Muscles. Kanjo's is muscles, you guys.
Muscles.
When he comes on the show, they're just gonna be muscles.
They're muscle.
Okay, Kimmy. Okay, so let's get to Kimmy's story. Okay, so you have a good and a bad one. So
Hi, Kimmy. From
Kimiko.
Hawaii.
Oh, Kimiko. So she actually lives here.
Kimiko.
Mhm.
Beautiful
Oh, so she's
name.
Japanese, Costa Rican, I think, girl.
What?
And then, but grew up in Hawaii.
Oh, beautiful.
But she's here now.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Okay, so Kimmy, yes, in Hawaii on the Big Island, I was blowing off my feet from sand, probably, right? Like what? I was blow off my feet. Yes, in Hawaii, I can't read it. Yes, in Hawaii on the Big Island, I was fell off my feet, like someone tripped me, and I fell off a small step. But that early morning, my mom and I were packing up, leaving the hotel. It was early, so we were not talking. Then a knock came at the door, and it was hotel security, and we had multiple noise complaints of a woman crying. Whoa, we didn't hear anything, but it was multiple hotel guests thinking someone was walking from our room. What? Wailing, crying from our room while we heard nothing.
Whoa.
Ooh, that is...
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Okay, that's crazy.
Ooh, I just got more.
She's getting chills for
dude.
days.
Hairs.
Days.
That is crazy. And you know,
but see, that's what we were talking about. Do your research when you stay at these hotels,
right?
These
You don't know,
because there's a lot of history. So you might want to ask and know what's going on.
What happened?
You know something? I forgot a story when my sisters and I, we did a USO tour where we were traveling, overseas, and
oh yeah, yes. Just FYI, she and her brother Kanjo and her sister Kim and Kenji, they grew up in the music industry, and so they did a lot of touring.
We did, and we were traveling, and we stayed at this beautiful hotel in Italy. Ooh. And I love Italy. Italy has so much history and culture, and it's just beautiful. The language, the people, everything was just beautiful. And I swear to you, we stayed at the most haunted resort ever. I mean, all the band members, everybody was like, oh my God. I mean, you could see the shadows in the rooms. You could see them. You could hear them walking. What? It was such an active hotel. And I mean, as beautiful as it was, you want to get out of there because usually you just want to rest and you don't want to be seeing that stuff, but yeah. So do your research again, you guys. Do your research. So that's a great story, though.
That is a great story. And that's scary. Okay, she has another one, a good one. The good one was me getting haunted at my old condo from the previous owner.
Wait, did the owner die?
Yes, she had died and her family sold the condo to us. But are you talking about this most recent condo? But they forgot to clear the storage unit, and she had all these old fancy suitcases. She kept bugging me to find her son. Oh, what? It was driving me crazy, but I found him via neighbors, and I got the suitcases back to him. Wow. At that moment, she asked me to tell him she loves him. Oh,
so she's.
Wow, Kimmy, you're gifted. You're gifted.
Yeah.
He was very grateful, and when he left, she finally stopped talking to me. Good experience. Wow, see? Kimmy.
Yep, I love that. You know what I love about that is that she realizes that. A lot of times I really think in our shows, Finding Your Voice, that these spirits are still trying to find their voice too, for whatever reason on the other side. And maybe, we can help them along. Maybe, that's a good example.
Maybe that's, why you have those gifts too.
I believe so. I believe so. Because again, remember, they used to be us. They used to have a body,
or we used to be them.
Or we used to be them.
If we all really, if you've seen the movie Soul, that we all come from a soul before coming into this physical body. Believe what you guys want. At least that's what we believe.
Hey, but we're always open to hear,
yes,
what you believe in,
yes,
enlighten us.
Absolutely.
I mean, yes.
Yes. Oh, Kimmy. Oh, I've been in that condo. Wow. Wait, so Kimmy, how did she communicate with you though? Did you hear things? Like, did she leave you messages? Like, I'm curious how that happened. Because that's pretty detailed for her to ask you to go find her son.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome for joining. We just told most of our stories, and then Kimmy and Conjo shared some as well.
Those are great stories, you guys.
Such great stories.
Also, the other thing I want to say really quickly too is that what about attachments? I've heard
I had some on me for
people
sure.
feel
Yep.
as if they've got spirits attaching themselves to them, and the question is why? Why is it attaching itself to you?
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, from what I've seen in my experiences, like sometimes if you're in a dark place or you're not aligned, you're more susceptible to attracting darker energies. And sometimes other people will put that dark energy on you, or sometimes it gets transferred to you by just exchanging energy with somebody else.
I guess my question is, who allows this to happen? Because who gives them the right to attach themselves to somebody? And that's the question that I do have. Like,
are there rules to the spiritual world?
Yeah, and shouldn't there be?
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are.
So how are they able to do it?
But here's the thing, right? Is that there's always duality in every dimension world on this earth. There's never going to be pure light, pure. It's going to be some darkness.
True.
So it's almost like that's just part of.
I think that's interesting. I think that's interesting.
Deep.
It's interesting why they would attach.
Yeah.
You said good question.
Good question, Kisa. I love that. Look at that support from Conjo. Kimmy, thoughts. It was over a week's thoughts. Yeah, Kimmy. That's how I communicate with them too. Is through
thoughts.
Thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. I think that I get people have asked me when I've had visions of stuff. How do I see it? And I mentioned before, different every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's an impression I get, like a movie, that kind of plays out.
Yes.
That gives me a real clear visual of the person and, what they wear, their what they're wearing, their mannerisms. It's so funny. I had a visit one time with someone's mom, and I didn't want to say what I saw, but I really felt like she was a little conceited. I didn't want to say. I was like, is she conceited? And she goes, yes! Which is crazy.
That is hilarious.
I just kept seeing her fixing her hair and putting her lipstick on. And the funny thing is, like, I don't always want to say what I'm seeing because it's, I'm like,
Oh, you know what? Okay, Kisa, okay, so Kisa, she's very gifted, but, she doesn't love it when people are like, oh, tell me, can you see me,
I don't want to see what's in your room, your bedroom,
or what your man is doing, or what your man is doing or anything.
I don't want to see what your man is doing, your girlfriend is doing. I'm not interested in that, because I think that that's so invasive. And no, I can't. To me, if I'm getting something, it's just gonna have to be because God wants me.
Right. It's not authentic when people are asking.
No, and I don't believe in trying to do anything to get. One of the things people ask, well, if you can see stuff, tell me what the, if I can win the lottery, what's the numbers? I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, you can't just be like,
Just, you can only see what it is that, at least for me,
they allow you
it
to
is
see.
that they want me to see, and for their reason, not mine. So, it isn't like that. It's, and no, when you see stuff, I can't read your mind because no.
No, but I will say, as her sister friend, I get primetime VIP access to her kids because I just signed on to. I've been single for like 6 years, and I just finally had the guts to download a dating app, so then I was like, so then I started chatting with this person, and I was like, I don't know, and you gotta be careful because you don't know, and I'm new, and I'm like, I love people, so I have to be very careful. So this person wanted to meet up, and we were talking about meeting up, and then he was acting kind of fishy, but whatever, right? So I was like, all right, let me know. So I sent her a photo of him, and I was like, what do you think?
Well, first, before she sent the photo, let me just say I was super excited for her. I was like, what? That's great. Yeah. And she's like, I'm sending you a photo. I'm like, okay, cool. I see the photo. I'm like, oh, wait. That's not the guy.
I thought that, but I didn't.
I was like, Theo, I think you're get catfished because instantly when I saw the photo, it just I just connect with it, and I'm like, that's not him.
Yeah, I know. I had a feeling too as well, but like my roomie's home. At least that. So
yeah. If that's ever happened to you, please let us know too. And if you have just had that feeling, or you just get an impression, you just know. So.
Yeah, it's hard to trust your gut when you're dating because you're like in the clouds and stuff. And because I was so excited, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get back out there," and like, yeah, and then it's true. I definitely believe he was a catfish because the way he was communicating after, and then he ghosted it, and then the next morning he's like, "Oh, sorry, I got called into work." I'm like, or you're not really who you are. I told you, the old me would have like blasted him so hard, but I'm gonna let karma handle that.
I think too, let's talk about like the difference between, you've got people ask about the demons all the time. I've heard people say that a lot of times something will come to them that they think it's like an angel and it was really a demon in disguise.
For sure.
I'll tell you my thoughts on that. I think that you just got to trust whatever it is that you're seeing and you're feeling. Is it a possibility that they can disguise themselves? Yes, I think so. Why they do it, I don't know. But I have seen situations where they don't want you to see who they really are in the spirit form. And so they will take on something other than what it is. Whoa. So that you don't identify what it is. So again, I always encourage people to just stay close to God and ask God to, always give you the truth and clarity on what it is you're seeing and the reason why you're seeing it. What I do know is that God doesn't want you to be fearful. So if you're feeling fearful of something,
that's dark energy.
Maybe that's why you're having that experience, to just kind of help you face your fears and get rid of them. Possibility.
It definitely disguises itself in ways that you don't realize. And to be totally honest, for some of you, that I've had a long journey with mental health. And I feel that they know that that's my kryptonite, is my emotions. Because I'm a very sensitive and pure heart. So everything hits me. And I feel that they use depression to bring me down. So now that I'm aware of it, I try to be very, I try to battle that.
I think that's important because I do know, and I've heard stories, and I've met people personally that have been influenced by something that is making them feel that way. So, it's making them feel suicidal when they weren't suicidal.
No, yes, I call her sometimes. I literally call her all the time, and I'm in good, and then out of nowhere I'm like, that's all of a sudden, because I had she knows some instances with some people who were unsavory toward me and dark energy, and I felt like they attached that energy onto me because for weeks after that I wasn't sleeping well. I was sad and depressed in a way that I hadn't been in so long, and it didn't make any sense.
No, and that's why I always encourage, especially like young people, because they have, this thing with the Ouija boards and different things like that. I personally have never done a Ouija board, never would want to do a Ouija board. Because you don't know what portals you're opening up. You don't know what doors you're opening up, and, so again, intention has everything to do with your experience. So, if you do something or you're around someone, and all of a sudden you're experiencing all these feelings you never had, you may want to just make sure that, you're covering yourself, and asking God to, release those emotions and those feelings, because they may be from something else, not you at all.
I mean, going back to our Hawaii incident, and the movie Practical Magic, because I called Sarah, our friend and healer, the next day, and I was like, this happened, what do we do? And she said, you need to go to Diamond Head, the mountain over there, and pour that energy back into earth, just like the movie. So that was insane.
That was insane. And I gained so much experience, number one, from being in Hawaii, because, you always hear about, the islands and that they're more in tune with, their ancestors and God and nature and everything.
There's
like
warriors
that.
over there.
And so I really learned to respect the land, from that experience in Hawaii, to just know that, you may be going on a vacation and having fun, but just remember to, have respect for their land and their culture, and embrace that, and don't just come in there thinking that I can just take your rocks and your
just take and
give of yourself probably when you come there. Maybe that's the lesson.
Give. Oh, and that's a great segue, because Kimmy's asking, do you have any protection advice if you have a scary moment? For me, some of the tools that I use are through Reiki. There's some symbols and stuff that help with protection. The Shokure. Palo Santo is a spiritual holy wood, and when you burn it, it helps transmute negative energy into positive energy. So that also helps with protection. Whereas sage is when you want to reset the energy of the room. So when you're doing sage, you sage it, you open up all the windows, and then all the negative energy leaves and resets. Palo Santo is when you want to keep the energies in the room, but just transmute it into positive. So I would say that, and anything that resonates with you. So let's say if it's Jesus, Mary, Buddha, Allah, whatever it is, and there's nobody, your higher self. If you don't believe in God necessarily, there's always your higher self. And those are ways of protection. Using salt, putting salt in corners of the room. If
I definitely believe the salt.
Oh yeah, because she did it.
Salt helps. It definitely does. But I was, just to add on to what you said, yes, I whatever it is that you believe in, turn to that source. And I always say just start your day with that. Start your day, because you can get attacks from, all kinds of things, and you can't always identify where it's coming from. You don't know if someone is, possessed and they're attaching themselves to you.
Because they don't even know, probably.
You don't know, and people do a lot of things out there. So I would just say start your day with just, speaking to your, to God, or, whatever you call them or whatever, and ask for covering and protection every single day from whatever is going to come your way. Because I see people that are the most spiritual people in the world get attacked by ghosts. So it doesn't necessarily stop them from coming, but you can set boundaries, and I think that's important, not just to learn that from the spiritual side of it, but in your life.
Yes. Oh, I like that. Look at that, bringing it back to this real world.
Yep. Carry it. It's a lesson for you. Because I do believe that anything that you get from the spiritual world is also, it applies to
for sure
what you do here too.
Absolutely. And I think that's why we commingle.
Yes.
Is because we are still related.
Yes.
And what we do in this lifetime, it affects our spirit and our soul when we're in that dimension later, and then in the next lifetime that we come into.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's all about your elevation, whether it comes in the form of good or bad. So, yeah. That was a good question, though.
Yeah, salt, like little bowls of salt. Yeah, like sea salt. For example, when
even Epsom salt.
Epsom salt, salt. If you are say Kimmy, if you are back in Hawaii or something, and it's something that happened there, then use the salt from that land, because it's more powerful. And that was a tip from Sarah. Sarah, but by the way, if you guys don't know Sarah, she's amazing. She's going to be a guest on our show as well. Follow her, Energy House. Energy, and then House is Haus. But she has so many tips and tools to help with all of this stuff. She is a wizard, a soul wizard, and I'm just trying to learn from her.
Can I say something too? Because I see people talking about this all the time. So they're like, I got a ghost in my room and I saged it, but the ghost is still there. So something that I've learned, if you're going to be saging something, Theo mentioned it, and I just want to highlight that. You have to reset the energy in the room after you sage it. So, I think there's many ways you can do that, but I think one of them, correct me if I'm wrong, is lighting a candle, a white candle, and then balancing out the energy in the room. So that's one thing that I've heard that a lot of people make the mistake of doing. They're like, well, I watch TV and I see people saging all the time.
It's more than just burning sage. It's your intention. It's calling in your guides, your protectors.
Yes.
all of that.
Yes, you have to reset the energy. So yeah, that's something I wanted to just share that I've learned actually.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Oh my God, so cool. Amazing.
Very cool. So.
Well, have you had enough of our talks? Wait, I think we actually missed Cheney. Cheney, what?
What
Okay.
did Cheney say?
She said, "My visions come to me in dreams, and I see my future." Wow.
Wow, Cheney.
That's dope. Now, is that like hard though? Because to live your life in the present, if you can see your future, because I know for me sometimes, yeah, because you kind of know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think that that's an interesting one because we've discussed this before. Sometimes it's not good to know what your future is.
Yeah.
Because the element of surprise is sometimes what we need.
And it's the adventure of life.
Yeah, and we're always trying to search to get all the answers, and maybe the whole thing is that we, the search itself is kind of the rewarding part is learning how, you know what I mean? That's the
journey. I guess they say
the journey. The journey. Actually, the journey is what this is all about. But our generation today, we just want the answers to everything. We're like, well, this didn't work out. Tell me why.
Girl, I had to tell myself recently, I was like, Theo, have some patience. Oh my God.
Well, I think that's why people do. They go to psychics and all that stuff is because they just want to know why. They want to know why. Right. But I think it's already there. It's already in them.
Ooh, Kanjo, good question. Do we manifest our future or is it predetermined?
Whoa. I think both.
Yes, it's a combination of both. I feel that we chose, at least myself, I chose this life before I entered into this physical body. And I chose it based off of lessons I needed to learn and probably things I needed to go through to ascend in this lifetime so I can continuously progress. And so I think my parents were predetermined for me, the fact that there was music, something with voice that was predetermined within my family, the culture, all that stuff. But you are human, so part of your job as a gift on this earth is to make decisions based off your own willpower and free will.
That's a good question. Yeah. What do you guys think? What do you think that is? Yeah, tell me what you think.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, we should do an episode about manifestation because
that's real.
Yes.
If you don't believe anything else, believe that you can actually manifest a lot into your life. And so that is very true. So to Kanjo's point, yes, I definitely think that it's both. I think that you come here with she's hungry.
Oh my God. Oh God, I hope that
her stomach is growling, you guys.
That was a long growl.
It almost did like a boo, like
yeah. My stomach was trying to be scary. Ooh. Oh my God. Yes.
Anyway, on that note, Kanjo, that's a good question.
Yes.
So I can't wait to have him on here. He's really deep, you guys. And so, So that's a good one, you guys.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. That was the food spirit.
You said what?
That was the food spirit. Dude, yes. Honestly, that spirit probably follows me around the most out of all of them is the food spirit.
That's a spirit that I battle with all the time.
and then I end up with a food spirit baby, and it just disappears by the next morning. But
yes,
it's similar to deja vu.
He said.
Oh wait, Cheney. Oh, Cheney. It's similar to deja vu. Her experiences.
Yeah. And what I'm finding is that a lot of times these things are in your bloodline too.
Which is funny because Kanjo, your brother, Cheney, your sister, you all
it's in the bloodline.
Yeah.
And you'll find that most people that experience those things, it's a long history in their family of people that have experienced that.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think too it also just says something for that you're just very connected to your higher self when you are able to, recall, your dreams and your visions and stuff. Yeah. And you guys, I think in every dream there's something in there for you to learn. So if you can write your dreams down, immediately, you know, when you wake up. I think it'll help you a lot.
If you can remember.
If you can,
You know,
it's I think it's your playbook to a lot of questions you have, you know, in your everyday life. So that's a good one, Jeannie.
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank you,
everybody, for joining us for
guys.
this spooky Halloween episode, part 2, since the first one didn't work.
I don't know if you guys see my blood. Is it going?
Okay,
The blood?
Okay, first of all, she's like, Theo, this is the first time I've ever done a scary Halloween outfit. I was like, but what's scary? She's like, that drip of blood is scary. It's kind of dry now.
I know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to reapply that.
If you didn't know, I'm Dracula. Draculette.
Awesome. And then the winner of the thing, we'll let you know. We'll
I think I know.
Yeah, I think we both know.
I
think we know.
who's
Should we say it on 3?
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Three.
Kimmy! Yes! Kimmy! Congratulations, girl.
Kimmy.
We are gonna send you some
dinner
and whatnot. So you and Kyle.
Plus, I'm
can
not
enjoy.
messing with her. She's from Hawaii. You win.
You win. Okay, you guys are the best. Thank you so much. Have a fun and safe rest of your
Please
Halloween.
enjoy.
And continue to share your stories with us because it's so dope. And if you have not yet, make sure you follow us at Finding Your Voice. Oh, my hair got stuck in my lollipop. By Finding Your Voice on Instagram and on YouTube as well. And if you want to email us with anything, it's findingyourvoiceshow.
Yeah, and if you want to come on the show, if you have something that you would like to share on the show or a good topic that you would like to introduce to us, we are more than happy to invite you as a guest. So
yay, lovely. And also, if you're not following Miss Kisa Hakeem, make sure you follow her, Kisa Hakeem. She's all over my stuff, so you can find her on my page somewhere.
Don't forget to sing.
Don't forget to sing.
Ooh, find your higher self.
Oh my God, love it. Okay,
We love you guys.